See if anybody shows up. Um, I'm here in the Philippines, Dumaguete. Guess you could say everybody here in Dumaguete, for the most part, is safe, no issues. The typhoon was tracking north. Um, Looked like on the radar, the eye of it was tracking more towards Manila, which obviously you don't want anybody to have to deal with a typhoon, tropical lake storm at all. So hopefully, uh, no issues in that regard. But I decided I know I've worn my AirPods before when I was doing a collaboration live stream, and people have said it sounds pretty good. And this, without me actually having to wear the mics. Um, so me speaking through this maybe helps block out a little. There's not actually much wind here at all. Um, Cloudy today. Um, One time it was raining, but it was very short-lived. It didn't last very long. So yeah, I was kind of waiting that. Hello, Louis. Thanks for being here, my friend. Was waiting for your live stream. Yeah, I was waiting to do my live stream. I was actually on another channel that I follow and obviously frequently watch their live stream. So I try to do my best to support other live streams and try to avoid overlapping my live with their live out of respect. But it gets to the point where it's almost like it's kind of hard to avoid that. So it's okay. Like I said, I'm sure nobody holds it personal, but he said, "Did you already get your morning coffee?" Yes, I did. Actually, it wasn't morning coffee. I would say, I think it was like noontime by the time I had my first coffee. Um, Che was kind of, I guess you could say, her post time of the month. She's just tired. She's a little fatigued, and um, she actually needed a rest. I think, aside from the fact that Filipinas like to sleep, she just, she hasn't had much of an opportunity to rest. And me being a guy, I will never truly physically understand what they go through when it's their time of the month. So yeah, she was really tired. She slept a lot last night, but she was fatigued today. But anyway, if anybody's getting onto my live, and if you're new here, my name's Michael. I'm from the United States, and I'm currently living abroad in the Philippines. And I'm here in Dumaguete, Philippines, at my kind of my most convenient favorite spot to do live streams, uh, at the Boulevard. I typically do my live streams here at the Boulevard just because I like the scenery. It's relaxing. There's a nice breeze, and obviously, for being 2:43 p.m. in the afternoon, there's no sunshine, but just clouds, no rain, no typhoon-like weather here whatsoever. So I guess you can say Dumaguete kind of dodged another bullet, being that this was the second most recent typhoon we were, anticipating. So everything worked out good. So if you're new here, if you're watching for a while, just if you're interested in supporting my channel, please give me the thumbs up or subscribe to my channel if you're interested in my content. Basically, simply put, I just want to share my story and share my life and let people know that there are other opportunities in this world if you're maybe interested in retiring early, or if some people consider 55 early. So just want to share my story. Um, but yeah, no rain, so I'm safe here. Nothing but the water and a little bit of sun's trying to peek through those clouds, but I can even flip the screen for you guys, just to show you where I'm sitting. That way leads to the boulevard, restaurants, whatnot here in Dumaguete. But there's a lot more people out at 2:44 in the afternoon, mainly because the sun's not out. You even see some of the vendors way over there, they're setting up earlier than usual, but it's a Sunday in the Philippines in Dumaguete. And so, yeah, when the sun's not really too bad, you see more people come out. Uh, but thank you, Louis, for being here and anybody else. Again, I'm Michael from the United States, living abroad in the Philippines, and I just have these random live streams just to chat with my friends, share what's going on. I'm open to any questions that I can share with people in my limited knowledge. I haven't been in the Philippines uh, that long. I guess my total time here is over a year total. Um, some people might say, "Oh, that's a time," but compared to a lot of my other friends and people that I know, they have much more experience here in the Philippines, and I'm still a newbie. Let me know how the video and the audio sounds. Like I said, people that I've spoken to before said they've asked me, "Hey, what are you using in your ears?" And I'd be like, AirPods." And a lot of people tend to say that it sounds really good and it kind of blocks out kind of the background noise. So hopefully you guys can hear me well. But yeah, Louis, I got my afternoon coffee and I started getting a little bit of a headache. And that's my sign where it's like, uh, I need a coffee earlier than that. Again, I don't drink a ton of coffee, but the one or two that I drink is a double espresso. So it has uh, a good amount of caffeine in it. And obviously, when you do it every day, your body gets used to it. And then I don't want to, deprive my body of the caffeine that I'm used to because then I tend to get a headache. Louis says wait for all other guys to join. Yeah, hopefully other people join. Like I said, without you guys, this live stream does not even exist. I mean, it wouldn't be fun. I to sit here literally by myself. You guys make the live stream live. Again, let me know how things sound because although I have wind blowing on my ears, I don't. Maybe I'll turn this way. I don't want the wind. All right, that's a little better, I think, for me. Turning this way, so you kind of have that view, and then you kind of have this view. All right, that seems better. Philip says hello. Hey, Philip, thank you for being here. Great supporter. Love that you're here. How are you doing, Philip? Same with you, Louis. Do you have your coffee yet? I'm sure you had yours before I did, but I'm doing good. Um, Shay is, like I said, she rested for most of the day, and I told her, whenever you feel better, then uh, get up and try to move around a little bit. Yeah, she's just dealing with some post time of the month, and I get it. I could see it. Like I said, if you guys have seen her the past 2 days, she's been fighting through it, and she's been a real trooper. And but yeah, that takes a toll on the women, and every woman all women handle that time of the month differently, but she's exhausted. She just felt exhausted, and even like I said, she got plenty of sleep last night, but after we ate breakfast, she was ready to go back to sleep. I'm like, just go back to sleep. Sometimes if your body's telling you I'm tired and I need to rest more and you ignore that, you can potentially get sick. Hello, Barbara Tachinelli. Hi from Connecticut. Wow, you're on the East Coast. I was born and raised in Pennsylvania, Barbara. So I know, okay, you guys started daylight savings time. So if I'm guessing this correctly, 2:49 p.m. here in the Philippines, Sunday afternoon, you would be at Saturday night, 1:49 a.m., I'm gonna guess, since you guys uh just did daylight savings. So thank you for being here, Barbara. I don't know if you're new or if you've been here before, and I apologize if I don't recognize you, but uh, the more you're around, the more I start to learn everybody, which, believe it or not, I never thought I could do it. At least where I'm at, as far as people that I get. the amount of people. But it's nice to see you here, Barbara from Connecticut, East Coast. God bless you. You're up late hanging out with me. Susan Farron says, "Hi, I'm 37 years young." I like how you said that. I'm 55 years young as of April 6th. So I like the way you do that. I'm 37 years young and just want to mention I grew up a few hours from you. And I'm sorry if I butcher the name. I'm learning. Gilagayan Chaton. I think Chaton. I've been through there at least on the way to Biowan, if I'm correct. I think I went through Chaton going to Biowan. But thank you for being here, Susan. And any questions, comments, anything you want to say to liven up the live stream, feel free to do so. And again, like I always say to people, if you're interested in subscribing to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. It's helping my channel grow. If you give a thumbs up, double tap your mobile phone or whatever device you're on, that also helps. But only do those things if you want to and you're interested. I would never force anybody to hang out with me that really didn't want to. So thank you, Susan. Louis says, today I had a halo and a balut egg from this Filipino store in Texas. I think that's so cool, Louis, that you can kind of take care of your Philippine cravings in Texas. But that doesn't surprise me. I mean, you're in the United States, you should be able to find every cuisine known to man in the US. So that's great. But what is a halo? Or if I mean, I recognize that as Halo, and that reminds me of a video game. So what is Halo? Or Halo? Louis also says, I bought a six pack of Red Horse bottles for Thanksgiving, whoever wants to taste it. Cheers to you, Louis. If I buy a six pack of anything, I don't know what I'll buy a six pack of. Obviously not alcohol related, but six pack of water, maybe. But yeah, Thanksgiving is not that far off. So you're preparing already, Louis, for Thanksgiving. Uh, Debt Valones is here. Hey, Debt Valones, thank you for being here. As always, I love my friends, supporters, and the people that I like new people that show up too. But I always respect and appreciate my the ones I'm familiar with. So thank you for joining me on this Sunday afternoon in the Philippines. I'm thankful that we're not really dealing with anything. And if you look at the radar, everything's all north of here. Hopefully, uh, nothing crazy takes place for the people up north, Manila, and around that area as far as weather. Hopefully, everybody will be safe and avoid flooding or high winds. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen any. Usually, I get a lot of stuff in my timeline on Facebook, people posting stuff of the current weather events. So I didn't notice anything when I looked at it before, but there's a lot of people. I mean, like I said, when the sun's not out, everybody comes out to the boulevard a little earlier, which is kind of cool. You said, Det says Typhoon is messing up with Zambelis, uh, a province all the way up central Luzon, far from Dumaguete. I'm sorry to hear that, Det. Um, yeah, even when I looked at the radar, I try to see if there's anything developing further out. I didn't see anything. So hopefully that's a good sign of things to come and things are winding down so people can kind of, I guess, get their focus on the holidays and um, not have to worry about too much or prepare too much. But again, like I always say to everybody, it's best if you're going to live your life, live every day as if it's your last. I guess that's the best way to approach it. So make the most of each day and just be happy. At least try your best. Um, but I hope everything that I don't want to see you have to go through anything. Susan Ference says, I live in Ohio now, but yeah, my story goes back to the 80s when my parents were pen pals. How cool is that? when I hear people that wrote letters to one another, I have a lot of respect for that. I grew up in a very young age where you wrote letters too. Um, I can remember writing because you always had the, it takes a few days to get there in the mail, and then you're just thinking of the person reading your thoughts and your feelings on a piece of paper, and then the anticipation of getting a letter back from them. Those memories I'll never forget. I don't know if you could ever compare the feeling and the emotions of writing letters to one another. I don't. I think that writing letters to another were so much more personable, and the excitement and anticipation that everybody had when you were writing or waiting to receive one, I think, is night and day. So, uh, yeah, I'd say, I always say to people, what it would be like. You guys never, people that only know digital, texting and email and stuff like that. Everything's instantly where writing letters and being a pen pal or whatever, the anticipation and excitement is a lot different than emails because I've gotten to experience both. So yeah, I can relate to that, Susan. And mom from the Philippines and dad from Indiana. There's Indiana again. See, I'm a big Notre Dame fan, and obviously, if anybody knows anything about Notre Dame, they're in South Bend, Indiana. So that's kind of cool. I get a lot of people from Indiana. There's another subscriber that I met or yeah, subscriber, but popped into the live stream the other day, and she was Philippine Filipina living in the United States, married to an American, and really, really nice person. And she was explaining to me how they're coming back to the Philippines I think maybe after the new year. But it's amazing when you meet somebody in a live stream the first time, and it's like uh, I like when people open up and connect and I know there's people that come on live streams too, and all they usually just sit and watch, and they're quiet and they don't say much. But open up, don't be afraid to interact with everybody, because a lot of people that I've been becoming friends with on YouTube are really great people, and they're good at interacting with everybody else. But that's neat, Susan. I'm glad you're here. I appreciate it, and thank you very much. And if you're not a subscriber, again, if my channel is something that interests you, feel free to subscribe, become a friend, come to more live streams, obviously when it fits your time schedule. But, gosh, you're you're on the East Coast. I was from Pennsylvania, East Coast, so I know what time it is. So I appreciate you being on so late, um, being in from Connecticut. Uh, Gino, maybe his wife, whoever, Gino has Dazzle TV. He's another YouTuber here. I have a lot of similarities with Gino. If you're not a subscriber to Dazzle TV, you check it out. Look at some of his videos. He has a lot of live streams. Again, he's a great guy, born in the Philippines, was living in the US, I think he said at 12 years old. And obviously at one point he joined the military, lived in the US for a while, then decided to come back to the Philippines. And so yeah, he's like dual citizen, Filipino and American in one. But his channel's great. I like watching Gino and his family's, lives, and do my best to stay up with videos and stuff like that. But Gino can attest to this. I mean, obviously he's much more experienced, and I wouldn't consider him a newbie to the YouTube world, but he's uh he's a good guy. I'm blessed to have met him, and yeah, so anybody, if you're interested in good people, nice people, and you're interested in learning about the Philippines, or even if you're here in the Philippines and you just want to learn stuff, listen to somebody else, see their excitement, and yeah, check out Gino's channel, Dazzle TV. But good afternoon, Gino. You know me. I was on your live, now I'm doing mine. Just showing it. There's nothing going on here. Weather, clouds, and calm water, and people are out on the boulevard. Sunday afternoon in the Philippines in Dumaguete. Det says you've never had Halo Halo yet. Maybe I've had it, but maybe I just don't remember what it was when I had it. So that you might have to fill me in, or I see somebody else. Louis, halo, halo is pronounced hollow, hollow. It's ice cream dessert. Well, maybe I haven't had it. Det Balones, and thank you for the description there, Louis, because I don't eat much sweets. So chances are I probably haven't had it. I'm just very picky about sweets and processed sugar related stuff. Now I've heard Gino on from Dazzle TV talk about, I think something he got, is it Thailand? I don't remember where he was at, but some sort of coconut ice cream that sounds very natural and more healthy than like processed sugar stuff. I'm not saying if I tried it once, it would like hurt me. Uh, like I guess anything, certain things that aren't necessarily good for you. I guess if you consume them in moderation, maybe it's not the end of the world. But I'm just very, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm just very strict with my diet, and I stick with it. And I'm very disciplined, I guess is the word. Um, Especially now where I'm at. Like I've been disciplined for many years with a lot of stuff. So once you kind of get there, it's like my second religion. It's like God first, obviously, but like I'm very religious about my diet and my health and my exercise. So yeah, so it's an ice cream dessert. Thank you for letting me know, guys. Gino says, I remember getting a letter during basic military training was like gold. Yeah, probably a handwritten letter. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, now, I haven't thought about handwritten letters, and it's not like something I think about. But when uh, what was her name, Susan, brought it up, pen pals and stuff, it kind of made me reflect. Um, on the past, having like these crushes when I was in high school, and you'd meet a girl like across the state, and then the only way you contact each other was writing letters. Occasionally you talk on the phone, but when you talk on the phone, it was the house phone, and long distance was involved, and you had to ask your parents if you could use the phone because obviously it cost more to call long distance back then. And yeah, things were different. But it was just a different way of life. And I guess anybody who like that's older, like myself, you experience the days of writing letters to somebody, and then obviously where we are now with technology. Um, what was more exciting? Obviously, writing hand letters and stuff like that. The anticipation, the waiting, and going to the mailbox every day and opening it and not knowing if the letter's going to be in there. And when you got it, you were so excited to rip it open and read it inside. Yeah, those are moments that that'll live with me or probably anybody else that experienced something similar. That just stays in you forever. Uh, Det Malone says, "Ask Che for halo halo mang inasal serve it." All right, Det, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna ask her about the halo halo and mang inasal serve it, and I'll try it. Um, I tried it like a lot of places. I know this might. Uh, I'm very good at asking, like when I go eat somewhere, like what's in some things, or like I ask them what oil they use because it's very difficult to find places to eat when you eat out that don't use like seed oils, like vegetable oil, canola oil. Um, yeah, it's like extra virgin olive oil for me, avocado oil, coconut oil, if you can find that. And that's probably why I prefer cooking and eating at home, just because I know what I'm getting. And you don't notice the taste difference. Um, you just know what you're putting in your body's better for you in the long run. Louis says that at Det Malone's, the Texas Filipino restaurants, Halo Halo was 100 times better than the Halo Halo from Mang Inasal. I was shocked. Try it. just because. And again, one time I tasted some ice cream, but it was like right here along the boulevard. But I highly doubt. I don't remember her saying "hollow, hollow," and maybe that's because I never had it, and that's probably why I never heard of it. Um, Gino says Boulevard looks amazing. Yeah, it just feels good. Like I said, there's a break in the clouds a little bit, but there's more people here than normal. They're all taking pictures of, I like, and the sun not being out draws people out earlier. But I mean, it's like, I can even flip the screen here. Um, this is where I do all my walking. Um, but I go away from here. I don't just stay here. But I mean, you can see Cebu over there, the port. Can't see Sikihor. It's hidden behind the clouds or like whatever. It's probably raining over there. That's why you can't see it. A couple boats. Water's fairly calm. But yeah, it's nice right now. I'm just thankful it's not raining. I like being outside. But then again, like they did all this, redid all this, made it wider down there, the boulevard. But again, I love being outdoors, and I can say it over and over and over again. I didn't move here to live in my apartment or whatever, and that's why I don't care if it's really small. I'm here in the Philippines to be outdoors. That's why you have warm weather. I like it. I mean, you know, you know how I feel, Gino. You like walking, you like being outdoors, and again, when I do these live streams, I wish I could walk around. If I had data that wouldn't actually, I wouldn't lose my signal, then I'd be walking more. That's why Starlink is definitely in the future. But even with the Starlink Mini, I'm a little concerned that it's not as portable as I thought it was gonna be. I was thinking it was just something I could put in a backpack. Um, I remember seeing something that on James and Karen's site that they used, but then something looked a little bigger, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to carry it, do live streams, and then let people see where I'm going and what I'm doing. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, Gino, like I said, the simple things are look amazing to me. If that means just hanging out here at the boulevard sometimes or just walking somewhere, obviously I want to take some trips to Sikihor soon. I need to get, I need to see some nature here soon. It's just playing the waiting game with this apartment, which is kind of making me a little nervous and a little anxious at the same time because I've been in a hotel now 3 weeks. Beginning of this week's going to be 4. So spending a lot. Obviously, it's less here, but I'm like I said, I'm spending a lot more money in a hotel here than what I'd be spending in an apartment. So I know patience is a virtue. I'm trying. Uh, it's just the communication with the owner has been a little hard to run into him, and I get it. People are busy, but I met the guy, the owner of this apartment building that's new, that they're finishing, supposedly ready on November 15th. I've only met him once and spoken to him once. I would have thought I would have spoken to him at least one other time in like 3 weeks. But anyway, I'll not talk about that anymore. Louis says, I hate sweets and I like my coffee black, but I definitely can have ice cream and dark chocolate. Dark chocolate, cacao, I love. I eat it. Um, Cacao is good for you. The stuff you got to stay away from, the stuff I stay away from, I should say. It's up to you to do the research because I don't want to tell people what they should and shouldn't do and eat, but just do your research. Milk chocolate is what I stay away from. And when you research it and look at ingredients, then that's you'll see why. Cacao, most of the time you can get a substitute sweetener that's in it, and it's not like aspartame or like a chemical sweetener. I'm talking, there's stevia, yeah, stevia, yeah, monk fruit, stevia, and the chocolate, dark cacao. But then you can get a higher percentage of cacao, and the higher you go, the more bitter it tastes. But I'm okay with it. I don't mind. I like dark chocolate. Typically, I'd say my favorite cacao is probably 80% cacao, but I've eaten 90. But a lot of people who are just so used to sweet chocolate, they couldn't eat the cacao, or at least they wouldn't like it to begin with. Sometimes I just put cacao with my blueberries, yogurt, and honey. Then you have the honey that actually sweetens the cacao, you know. But no, I love dark chocolate. Typically, my coffee, I can drink it black. But as I mentioned on Gino's live, my sweetener, even in coffee, is typically honey. I've even used organic, like raw maple syrup, the true stuff, but I've never seen that here. Raw honey is actually very hard to find here, um, especially when you don't know if it's true raw. Like you got to watch. People call it, refer to it as fake honey. Um, Coconut sugar, I can get here. Well, I was definitely getting that in Bacolod by a brand name that I'm very familiar with. There was a health store in Bacolod, which honestly, that was probably one of my favorite things about Bacolod was this health store. Um, Now they do have like imported, I guess you could call it the foreign store that they import a lot of stuff here in Dumaguete called Belcris. Uh, I'm not sure if I can get that coconut sugar on Amazon or not. It's not that you can't get a lot of things on Amazon, they just don't deliver it or ship it here to the, Duma in the Philippines. That's the problem that I've learned. So, sometimes I do find certain things that I like, and it's like I click on it, I'm like, "Oh, yes, it comes to the Philippines," and then sometimes I'm disappointed, but coconut sugar is also fine. I use that. When I was in the US, my I would use like raw heavy cream, best raw milk, raw heavy cream. Starting to sprinkle just a little bit. I think it's just this goofy cloud right here. As you can see, there's a break over there. So I just noticed I'm getting drip drops on my glasses and on my phone, but it should be all right. Um, Gino says Coco Mama ice cream and Boracay, delicious. All right, that's the one that you mentioned. It was coconut, and I'm assuming it was pretty natural as far as ingredients in it. But yeah, that's the one he mentioned before. Coconut ice cream sounded really good to me because I love coconut water. Louis says, I found my grandma's letters from her kids, which are my uncles and aunts. It's a warm feeling reading them. Yeah, man, there's like, especially, I think it's cool that people would save these letters. I had an abundance of them, and I know I'll be honest with you, I threw all mine out or burned them um, many, many years ago, but I did go through them to an extent a little bit when I found them, but yeah, like people could get all these old letters and stuff like that together. Like you could probably write a book out of all those letters. There's a lot of great stories, a lot of history, a lot of emotion, a lot of feelings. And, reading letters is like reading a book. Although I'm not a big book reader, I'm not patient enough. Big wave just smacked behind me. I'm not a big book reader. I like reading more like articles, short stories, like what I've gotten into, which thankful for technology. I love audiobooks, um, especially, not to get religious on you, but I put my time into a Bible. And what I've learned that really works with me is when I'm walking, it's the audio. You can just listen to it. So anything you want to listen to, if you're not, especially if you're not a book reader, I like going for a walk and listening to book, or like audiobooks. So I thank technology for that. But yeah, Louis, you're right. There's so much history in those letters. Louis said, I remember as a kid walking to a payphone. Yep, I grew up with payphones with my dad. And I remember my dad writing letters to my grandma and grandpa and putting $100 bill in the letter. Yeah, I used to get, well, I even like getting birthday cards in the mail. Like, that was a big deal when your birthday came around and you were getting birthday cards from family, relatives, grandparents, and stuff. That was always a big deal because your grandparents, obviously, like your grandmothers or grandfathers, um, especially them, they would put money in the card, the birthday card, and you get that in the mail, and it's obviously cash. But yeah, that was a big deal. That was exciting. Now it's like, again, if I have, like, because I've lived that moment and I'm living the digital world. Like, if you're gonna say, what do you like better, getting a card in the mail, or like a digital card now, and somebody just gives you like Apple Pay for 20 bucks or something like that? I'm gonna say I prefer getting a letter in the mail with cash, although that's been a long time since that happened, but the feelings are definitely different. You know, but yeah, that's a good point, Louis. See, I like this, Louis. You're bringing up some very good points. And here you go, Gino saying, and getting a picture with the handwritten letter. Yes, photographs. Um, yes, I like having the ability to store tons of digital photographs, on in memory in a on a phone, whatever the heck it is, but getting a physical photo from somebody, then they'd write something on the back, especially if it was like a girlfriend or maybe somebody that liked you and stuff. I remember that more so with like grade school, like first through eighth grade, especially. But I mean, yeah, you know, heck, I remember like Valentine's Day, like being in school, grade school and stuff like that. Valentine's Day, everything was, you'd make your Valentine's cards. You'd buy red or whatever colored construction paper, you'd cut it out, and then you'd like write whatever you wanted to write and fold up the heart in half, and then you'd give it to somebody, and just even like, and it was like a big thing when you showed up for school. Like everybody, you had to do your Valentine's cards the night before, and if you had a crush on somebody, like, yeah, things were just different. I don't know what they do nowadays for Valentine's Day. I don't know if they're into the whole Valentine's cards. Maybe they are, but at least when I was a kid, it was more common for people to make their Valentines, and then as time went on, obviously you could go buy whatever ones you wanted. But yeah, that's another point. Like it reminds me of the whole picture thing. It was just so much more personal and intimate um, back then. Uh, Now it's just like you can take a picture anywhere, anytime, and it's great. But then when I think about it, I'm like, it's just almost like it's overwhelming. It's like, yeah, I like getting pictures and being able to snap a picture anytime and instantly having the picture. But it was also fun when you're taking, heck, even with a Polaroid, when the picture popped out and you had to like shake it until the image appeared on the Polaroid. And I know that's showing your age now. I don't think I ever owned a Polaroid camera, but I think somebody I knew had one. But um, even like, my dad was big into photography, and obviously you have a roll of film in the camera, so you were always in anticipation. You couldn't wait till he got the pictures developed, um, to see them, and then everybody kind of sat around together and looked at the photographs. You don't have that kind of stuff anymore, um, which reminds me, and I've mentioned this before in other live streams. When technology started becoming so big, having family Christmas gatherings just weren't the same anymore, at least in the United States for me. Um, it was almost like we should have made a thing where when everybody shows up to my sister's house or somebody's house, everybody has to put their cell phones to the side, at least for a couple hours. Because everybody just sat around on Christmas Day. Yes, we did the gift exchange, but even I think that even got boring. It just wasn't the same as when we were younger. It's like the more technology you got, for me personally, it took away the luster, the true meaning of Christmas. Because everybody, like, I remember my mother saying, she goes, "Look at everybody sitting around. What do you notice?" And I would say, "What?" Like, and she'd say, "Everybody's on their cell phone." Um, Heck, you could be, they're either texting on social, doing something on social media, or instead of just communicating amongst each other, I mean, someone could be sitting across the room. They'll just send me a text message, and I'm sitting right there instead of talking. It's kind of funny. But it just makes you like, makes me appreciate certain things. Um, Louis said, as I grew up without a house phone and as a kid, you grew up without a house phone or without cable TV. Well, then, hell, damn, you were really, but again, I didn't have like, obviously we had a payphone in our, or not a payphone in the house, a house phone. We even had even beginning like a dial up or whatever before like the punch, but it was always on a long cord, so you could only stretch it so far. So you never really had any privacy unless you had another phone and somewhere in the house and you could have privacy. But yeah, I remember you try and stretch the cord so far to get privacy in another room, and sometimes the cord would pop out of the thing. But those are the like I said, those are the kinds of things that happen. Those are like great memories, although we had I don't know, it kinda goes hand in hand with the way I feel here in the Philippines. I feel like having less is having more. I appreciate and I feel more happy having less here, um, meaning materialistic things and stuff. Obviously, I have my phone. I'm thankful I can do live streams, so I wouldn't be able to share this with anybody other than one-on-one versus this. So, I mean, there's the pros and cons, but uh, people always ask me what time period was like my favorite, and I'd say the '80s. The '80s were awesome. I mean, which that's a whole other thing we can get into. I don't want to babble too much. I got App Ohio just says H, which I think that means hi. But hey, App Ohio, I assume you're from Ohio. And I appreciate you being up so late. My name's Michael, and I'm here living abroad in Dumaguete, Philippines. Uh, Thankful that we're not dealing with any typhoon-like weather here. A lot of it went north of us, so I'm blessed because of that. So thanks for being here, App Ohio. And again, anybody here that's not familiar with my channel, first time, check out my channel. If it's something that interests you, then maybe you'd be interested in subscribing, and then I've been trying to be more consistent, which I have been lately with the live streams, trying to build a community, and just usually it turns into an open forum, and I like that because I like talking about various subjects and stuff, and just sharing my experiences here as an American living abroad in the Philippines. So thanks for being here, App Ohio. Then I got Maxi Maxi Naris says haha, and then Maxi Naris has emoji faces looking like they're showing teeth, maybe gritting your teeth. Hope you're having a good day, Maxi Naris. I hope you're being happy. And where are you from, Maxi Naris? And Ohio, if you're not in Ohio, which I assume you are, but maybe you're not. Where are you from? But Maxi Naris, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Just doing something simple, like my channel name says, just hanging out with some friends, seeing if anybody, what's up with everybody else, whether you're in the Philippines, how's the weather, where you're at, or wherever else you're at in the world. Just say hi, hello. Hey, Simon's here. Hey, Michael. Hey, all. Hey, Simon. How you doing, my friend? How's things in your, I guess, part of the islands here in Philippines? Gino says hello, Simon. Det's waving. He's got the hand emoji. Simon says, "Hey, Mr. G, Mr. Gino." But other than that, I'm yeah, I'm lucky that I don't really have any. I think the only way I'm gonna get wet is one of these waves splashes up and hits the wall here. But that's it. But again, I just wanted to do a little live, see if anybody showed up. But again, people in the live dictate the live, so you guys have the power ultimately, if you really think about it. Right. And I always try to do a little show like there's definitely more people here at the boulevard than normal at this time of the day, just because it's cooler out and there's um, no sun. And again, if there was sun, I'd have a hard problem sitting here because this gets hot and it feels really good. The only thing that hurts is my butt because I've been sitting on these hard things for the past few days. I think I need to start bringing a cushion or some sort of towel. My butt hurts. Um, Simon says, very rough all day, buddy. Sorry to hear that. It's not been nice at all. Signal 4 now, but maybe 5 later this evening. Man, my prayers, my thoughts and prayers go out to you, Simon. I know everything's north of where I'm at, and for the second consecutive hurricane slash typhoon, uh, Dumagetti and surrounding area were kind of lucking out. Um, this was basically when you look at the radar, it's like nothing. It's just clouds, a little bit of sprinkles here and there. Uh, nice minor breeze, but I hope everything you'll be all right, Simon. You and your wife, and yeah, maybe this is like uh, the end is in sight for all these hurricane developing in the ocean coming this way. On the radar, I didn't see anything developing, further out at sea. So I know rain season is not much longer. Um, it's kind of wild too. It's like we went through that stretch. It seemed like earthquakes all the time, um, and now it's kind of switched, and then now it's going towards these storms and stuff. I don't know about anybody else, like anywhere, if you guys in the Philippines have had any other earthquakes or any small ones that you felt. Um, I've only felt since I've been back here in Dumaguete from Bacolod since October 17th. I've only noticed I felt one that was like, I think it was a 5.0, but it was one night, it was a little after 3 a.m. in the morning here that I felt the bed shaking. But other than that, I haven't had any. Now, but cold, it just seemed like it was all the time. Um, you know, the earthquakes, a lot more flooding in Bacola too that I noticed than here, but maybe that's part of them getting more rain too. I'm sure that's possible. Um, but obviously the drainage in the Philippines, doesn't take much for it to start overflowing and flooded. So again, prayers and thoughts out to anybody in the Philippines that are in, the path of this current hurricane slash typhoon. But thanks for being here, Simon, despite everything you're going through. Um, Gino says, stay safe, Simon. Det says, rarely rains here. Um, yeah, I don't feel like it rains a lot here in Dumaguete. Um, for 4 months I was in Bacolod, I felt like all it did was rain. But then a lot of people were telling me it rains a lot more in Bacolod. At least that's what they were saying. That people that live there a while. I don't know. That's not far from Iloilo. So maybe it rains a lot in Iloilo. I don't know. But as long as I've ever been in Dumaguete, which is a lot longer than Bacolod, I comparing the two, I felt like it rained more in 4 months in Bacolod than it did in 7 to 8 months here in Dumaguete. Maybe just a coincidence. I'm not really sure. Maybe somebody more experienced, you guys can say that's true or not. I don't even know about you, Gino, where you're at. Does it rain a lot there? I mean, I know it's rain season, but even when it's like rain season here, I never felt like it rained much. Even in my first rain season in 2024, getting here in July and experiencing rain season, I just remember that October in 2024, it was like typhoon stuff, but it never got like devastating. It was just yucky weather for like a month. It felt like this dreary, misty kind of rain, clouds, no sunshine. But I don't remember any devastating winds or uh, anything like that in Dumaguete. At least where I was at in Dumaguete. That's not to say that other people in other areas weren't dealing with some flooding issues where they were at. Um, Simon says, Much appreciated. Surprised we've got internet, to be honest. It's a bonus in my eyes. Yeah, it is a bonus because it gives you something to do. And I'm just thankful you're sharing your time with me, Simon. Hopefully, I can make your rough day a little bit better, hanging out with me. I don't know. It's just me. I don't have Che to entertain by my side right now. Like I said, mentioned earlier, if you weren't here, she's just exhausted today. She's feeling tired post uh, period, dysmenorrhea, menstruation. Yeah, she's just exhausted. But she was a real trooper the days before, so fighting through it. But she got a lot of sleep last night. Ate breakfast this morning. She just said, I'm just tired." And I said, "Yeah, I think your body just needs a break." You know. So she slept in and just chilled. And I just said, "Hey, if you feel better when you get up, do go visit your mom." Well, she had some, she was washing our other sneakers and stuff by hand and some stuff at her mother. So I said, "If you feel up to it, go visit your mom. If not, just relax, lay in bed, like just chill." Like, she hasn't really done that, I don't think, in a very long time. So I kind of just left it up to her and stayed with her until almost noon. And then I said, "Well, I want to get out." I get a little stir crazy hanging out in an apartment, or I should say a hotel. So thank you again, Simon. Hey, y'all mama, stay safe, y'all. How you doing, y'all mama? Welcome back, my friend. Yeah, all's good here in Dumagetti. Just basically clouds, some misty rain, and a little bit of wind. And actually, you can see the sun coming through the clouds. I'm on the sunlight, but yeah, it's not bad today. A lot of people are out earlier than normal just because there's no sun. Vendors way down there starting to set up stuff, mainly street food, but there's a lot more people out, as you can see on that walkway. They're just sitting out here on their phones. But yeah, it's just a nice place to hang out. It even gets cooler when people, they bring their portable karaoke machines, set them up all over the place. Um, I haven't sang at any of them yet, um, but I do enjoy watching it or listening to it because they play a lot of oldies American music for the most part, and kind of like takes you back in time. But thanks, young mama. I appreciate you being here. Gino says, "We are at the end of typhoon season. This is the strongest of the year, super typhoon category." All right, Gino. See, so I need you to educate me a little bit. I figured typhoon season and rain season kind of went hand in hand, but maybe there's certain months that are a little more. Uh, it's kind of like in the U.S. When I lived in Florida, hurricane season is basically July, August through basically December, and then it's kind of like all downhill from then. Gino says number 21 typhoon of the year. We average 18 to 20 typhoons a year. All right. See, I didn't know that either. Um, that's interesting to know. So when you say, Gino, just so I understand, typhoons only take place during rain season, or they can take place at any time, or just more common during rain season. But obviously anything can probably happen whenever. Just curious. Dawn Sylvester. I'm here in Makati. Barely even raining here. Hi, Dawn Sylvester. Welcome here. You look like a new name, but I appreciate you being here. I always love when I get other people, not only from all over, wherever you're at in the world, but here in the Philippines too. And that's good. You're giving us like a weather update where you're at. I'm in Dumaguete. Nothing much. Little bit of drizzle here and there. Now it's fine. It's pretty much look like this all day. Like basically breaking clouds, a little bit of scattered, but nothing. And obviously, anybody that's been on the radar is going to see that, yeah, where Dumaguete is, there's nothing. But I'm glad to hear that, the Dawn Sylvester. Uh, welcome. Uh, yeah, give me a like if you're interested on your mobile tap tap or whatever you're on, or if you're interested in a channel like mine, you're more than welcome to subscribe. And then, as we all say, we become friends in this on YouTube, especially with familiar names. I'm getting into the live streaming a lot lately. I think it helps to grow my channel. It makes it more personable. People get to know me. Not that you don't get to know me on my videos, but I like this. it's fun. Plus, I like to talk. I'm a foreigner from the United States, so I like to talk. And you guys, without you guys, basically, it's the people in the chat and subscribers, friends, viewers. You guys are the engine to this whole thing. So, as much as I'm a, it's my channel. I need you guys too. So, without you, this channel wouldn't exist. Hey, it's Ray in the Philippines. Welcome, Ray. Holy crap. Wind gusts are up to 80. Wow. Here now. Still not too bad. Just woke up from a nap. So the wind gusts are pretty uh, gusty, as you could say. Well, I'm glad your internet works, Ray, and you're able to join us. Thank you for coming to my live stream from your sleep. Ray in the Philippines, he also has his own channel. Ray and I actually met through YouTube. Ray is an American living in Tagaytay. We met on YouTube. Both of us are basically newbies in the foreign blogging YouTube universe. So if you're interested, check out Ray's channel. Maybe that's something that interests you. You might want to subscribe and stuff like that. He's my friend, so obviously I'm all about giving shout outs, even if people aren't in my chats or live streams that I'm friends with. I'm always trying to remember and shout out everybody, not just people that are here that have channels. And if I ever forget, I completely apologize. But I have respect for other people on YouTube just because I know I was motivated to come to the Philippines in the first place by a lot of YouTubers, much more uh, well known, and I call them YouTube celebrities. So those guys are my inspirations, and I want to share. I want to inspire other people to come here too, at least visit if you haven't ever been in Asia or lived abroad. So like Don Sylvester. I'm glad that's the first time I saw him, but I'm glad you're here and thank you for being here, Ray. And you can see this is Ray in the Philippines. So you want to subscribe to Ray, check it out. Might be something you like. Simon says, Good morning, Ray. Gino says, Hi, Ray. Boogie Riches. How long you been in the Philippines now? Total, I know I'm over a year, but we can maybe do the math now. I came to the Philippines in July 12th of 2024. I was here until March 17th of 2025. So let's just say August, September, October, November, December, January, February, and the March. So that was like between 7 to 8 months. Then I came back in June 17th. So let's not June. So July, August, September, November. So I'm like at 11, 12 months, maybe a little over 12 months total in the Philippines, Boogie Riches, and still learning a lot. Um, I love it here. I'm excited and motivated and inspired to see there's over 7,000 islands here in the Philippines, and maybe you already know that, but I didn't know that before coming here. I would have never known that. I just figured it was a cluster of a few islands, but I didn't know it was over 7,000. Now, obviously, I'd probably never live long enough to visit all 7,000 islands. Maybe if I owned a helicopter, I could like hop to several, at least stand on. I see, like right now, it's raining. And it's weird because it's blowing from over there. It's just like this is so wild. Maybe there'll be a rainbow, but sun's out there, but it's raining. Mhm. But maybe there'll be a rainbow. But I've been out in the rain before. It doesn't bother me. Feels good. It's warm here, but Boogie Rich is yeah, where are you from? I like always asking where you're from. Maybe you're from here and but welcome to the my live stream. Thanks for being here. Give me a like, give me a subscribe if I'm something that interests you. Because I'm something simple. I just like the simple life. That's why I'm here. Uh but yeah, I'd say a year or maybe a little, give or take a week or two total. And so much to learn, inspired, motivated. Some of my best friends that I've had in my life, I met here in over a year. I think I have better relationships, friendships in a year than I have in my whole entire life. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. But thanks for the question, Boogie Riches. Well, you're welcome anytime, man. Or like I try to have a good stream. People interact, people say hi to just a respectful, like educational, inspiring kind of chat. And I'm just checking in. That's basically it. And nothing special today. Just had a break and wanted to chat with you guys. Um, your mama says, keep safe, Ray. Don't forget to secure med kits and Tanduai. Yeah, I don't know what's more of a priority, the med kit or the Tanduai. Inquiring minds want to know. I'd be curious. Or is it 1A and 1B? Ray says, hey, Simon and Gino. Gino says, Panay Island doesn't get many typhoons like Dumagetti. Okay. I didn't know that, but now I do. See, this is why I like you, Gino. I mean, I like you anyway. You give off a good vibe. You're genuine. You are who you are, and you don't change who you are on your stream. So hopefully someday we get to meet face to face. Um, I don't know if you like coffee, but that's the only thing. I mean, we can talk over coffee, coconut water, uh, fruit juice drinks, something like that. But I'm sure I'll meet you someday, Gino. I can't imagine not meeting you someday. Ray says, need to keep a sober head. Yeah, no rum today. Good for you, Ray. Good for you. Sometimes you just, it's all right to take a break and just drink some coffee. Use that Hello Kitty mug while I'm still looking for that darn Hello Kitty t-shirt for you, Ray. Um, Nobody can don the Hello Kitty mug or well, hopefully I find a t-shirt for you before I ever meet you. It's just it's cool. You make Hello Kitty cooler than what Hello Kitty even is. I'm not saying I don't think Hello Kitty is cool. I just think you make it cooler. Simon says a doser. Not heard that for a long time. Haha. What did I miss, Simon? Why is this doser doser? Is this something I said? Now I want to know. Doser doser. I'm not sure. Sorry, Simon. Maybe I just fell behind. We got Gary Smithers here, says hi. Hello, Gary. My name is Michael. I'm born and raised in the United States, and I'm living abroad in the Philippines. And currently, right now, I'm in Dumaguete, Philippines, if you're familiar. Where are you from, Gary? Tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm always interested in meeting new people, learning about new people, and without you in the live stream, like I said, you guys are the engine that keeps this thing rolling. So welcome, Gary. Uh, Good people in this live stream for the most part. I don't have much drama. Like I said, I always say that, and I don't want to speak too soon, but for the most part, it's a good conversation. If you have a question and I can't answer it, chances are someone's going to be in this live stream that can answer your question. If you have questions about the Philippines or anything, but welcome, Gary. I just like to know where you're from because if you're not here in the Philippines, maybe it's like really late night. And I'm from Pennsylvania in the United States, so I know there would be 2:43 a.m. Saturday night, where it's 3:43 p.m. Sunday afternoon here. But welcome, Gary. Yeah, Mama says, haha, sounds good, Ray. That rum kicks a lot more than the regular rum. Yeah, that rum does kick. And Che even had, she said to me the other day, because she saw the Tanduai the other day, but it was a bigger bottle than what he normally drinks. And she says, oh, Ray has Tanduai long neck. It was a bigger bottle. She said, I hope Ray doesn't drink that whole bottle because he's going to black out. And I said, I don't know if he's going to drink the whole bottle, but that must be some strong stuff. Not that from what I know, she didn't say she doesn't drink, but she didn't say that she knows how strong it is from personal experience. And but then I did also say, well, if anybody could probably drink a whole bottle of Tanduay, it'd probably be Ray. Um, his gut, his cast iron stomach. Like I said, I I know I keep saying I drink a quarter of what Ray drinks, but it's probably less than that. I'd probably be dead. Yeah, Ray. I don't know how he does it, but he has a tolerance unlike anybody I personally know because he's drinking the hard stuff. Um, Again, I'm not a professional. Uh, I'm not saying a drinker, but I would think from my past experience many years ago that the hard stuff, the liquor, is much more potent than beer. But then again, what do I know? Simon says, I love being outside too, Michael. We are just we are just sat in our outside living area. Very cool weather and always fresh air here. Yeah. Well, see where Ray's at the guy tie. He's got the cooler air, and I understand why he likes where he's at. Fits with him. He's not the biggest fan of. He likes warm weather. He just doesn't like it too warm because he doesn't like being out in it that long. But the guy tie weather, I think, gives him more opportunities to be outside. People that live in Valencia here, you go up mountains, it's cooler. I've been there. It is nice. Um, Cooler, especially at night. I'm sure you could probably get away with even despite the humidity, you could probably get away with, or I could handle, just having like outdoor air with screens in. I definitely need screens. I don't want mosquitoes. Although, you know what? I only ever come to think of it, like people always ask me about mosquitoes here. Quite honestly, I think maybe at times they're worse than others, but I only ever really experienced getting bit up, and it was only around my like ankles when I first got here to the Philippines. And I joked and said, "Ah, maybe it's just like, hey, American blood. These mosquitoes are tasting something different, and they're telling their friends, and then it's like jump the foreigner and get, you know." I mean, it wasn't a lot, but it was enough for me to notice. Now, since I come back and I might have had like one a random mosquito bite here or there, but I don't really get them anymore. Again, I don't want to jinx myself, but maybe it's just different times of the year. Mosquitoes are worse, but since I've been back here in June, maybe I got bit up a couple times in Bacolod. If I'm in grassy kind of areas, maybe they're more active there. Or I'd say the biggest thing that annoys me here is when you go to a shady area and then these flies are driving you nuts. But obviously, the flies are smart. They don't want to be in the sun either, because when you're in the sun, there's no flies. They're only around in the shade. So pretty smart flies, I guess. But yeah, I love being outside, Simon. That's why I'm here. Um, Mama says, doing good, Mike. We have scattered rains and some gusts, but fortunately not too crazy. That's good to hear. Good to see your weather isn't that bad. Yes. I'm glad, like again, kind of like James says from James and Karen's Adventure. Um, Not that they were predicting or anticipating anything bad here. The previous one, they kind of were, which I guess James called their previous one like a nothing burger. That was basically like the last one here. So I don't think they're really anticipating much here. So I can't really say it ended up being a nothing burger. So yeah, I'm just glad it didn't track here, but I feel bad for the people that are dealing with it where it did track. So although all was good here, I feel bad for everybody else north of here that are dealing with this typhoon. So again, you guys are on my thoughts and prayers, and do the best you can. Stay safe. I hope you don't experience uh, power outages, anything. I mean, I just hope you get through it and it's not that bad. Um, but everybody, we're thinking of you. But thank you, young mama. Hey, Martin, Manila Grill is here. He says, "Hey, Michael, how you doing, Martin? I'm just hanging out in my familiar place. All is well here. Little bit of sun's coming through these clouds. A lot more people are out here at the boulevard at this time because there's no sunlight. So it's not as hot. I can sit on this wall and my butt doesn't cook. So yeah, All is well, Martin. How are you doing, my friend? Ray says, "What's good, Martin?" Weena jumps, says, like nine. Hello, Weena. How you doing? I guess I'm trying to figure out like nine. Oh, maybe you were like number nine. Hey, thank you, Weena. I popped into yours earlier too. It's getting more and more difficult, though. I have to admit, it's like you try to pop in everybody's live stream and watch videos and then live your normal everyday life. It gets more and more difficult. But for me personally, if someone just pops in, says hello, and that's all they can give, that's better than nothing. Uh, you can watch a video, great. Leave a comment, great. But if not, I understand people have lives too, and you have to be choosy or picky on, what you can do with YouTube. Um, but I'm sure if I was living in Pennsylvania right now or somewhere where there's a lot of snow, I'd still be doing my exercise, but I'd be watching YouTube probably to entertain myself, to get me through the long winter days. Because damn, winter's just too long. And where I live in Pennsylvania, it's the longest time of the year. Least favorite. Like snow on the Christmas day, but that's it. Don't want it anymore. Uh, but thank you, Weena, for being here and liking. Gino says typhoons mostly during rain season from July to December. Yeah, sounds like US. Yep, just like US. Basically the same. Weena says, hello, host and everyone. Thank you again for Weena for being here. Appreciate your support. Martin says, hey, Ray, just mowing the grass, Sunday routine. Sounds like a good Sunday routine. I always love mowing the grass, but then there's another reason to be outdoors. Um, I like physical work too, cutting the grass. Yep, that's great. All right, Don, no problem. Don, the Don Sylvester. I'm just gonna say Don said, just call me Don, LOL. You got it, Don. When I see Sylvester, I think of Sylvester Stallone. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Don says he's from Oklahoma originally. Okay. I don't think ever in my life living in the US, I can't say I've ever been to Oklahoma. Texas, never Oklahoma. I don't even think I gotta stand up. My butt hurts. I don't think I've ever even been uh, you know, flying through Oklahoma. I've never been to Oklahoma, but thank you, Don, for being here. Appreciate it. Ray says, really, Don, I was thinking about going by the Ray. Yeah, sometimes I call him Ray Ray or just Ray, or you could call him, hell, if you feel like calling him Sunshine, you could call him Sunshine. Right, Ray? He'd call you Sunshine. How you doing, Sunshine? Uh, Don says, ha ha. Anybody in here, if you're not a subscriber and you're interested, I always say it's my job to say it. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. My name's Michael. I'm from the United States. Just hanging out in the Philippines, living abroad at the boulevard. A lot more people are out, a little active earlier than normal. But yeah, weather is not very bad. A little bit of drip drops. You can't see Sikihor through there though. I think it's raining over there. But other than that, you can see Cebu. And yeah, it's nice. It's not too bad. Um, Rena says she's waving to Ray. Ray says, I'm wondering about my live stream later. There will be a lot of whistling from the wind. Well, Ray, all you can do is try it. You know, you can just try it. Mm. And that's why, like, you're one of the people that mentioned you asked me what I was using in my ears when I was doing the live stream. And I was like, the AirPods. And you said you heard me very well and it kind of blocked out the background noise. So that's basically why I'm wearing them now, just to block out any background noise because it was kind of windy earlier, but it's okay right now. It's not too bad. Uh, But if you're on, Ray, we'll be there. Ray says, hey, Wayne, Bill says, well, ended up getting 8 inches of snow, damn, and 23 degrees. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Bill. I don't miss snow. Um, just on Christmas, I like snow. I try going down this way. Just on Christmas, I like snow. But other than that, Bill, I guess you're doing good because you said good morning. So I don't think you'd say good morning if you weren't doing good. But thank you for being here, Bill. I appreciate the weather update. Um, actually, this morning, because of the time difference, I'm a big Notre Dame football fan. So I was watching Notre Dame play Navy, and I saw it was like rain and it started to turn to snow in South Bend, Indiana. So yeah, I don't mind watching sports when they play in snow. It's kind of cool. Yeah, that's some of the snow in South Bend, Indiana. But I'm sure a lot of that's lake effect snow. Simon says, "Hey, Wayna." Simon says, "Mr. Bill." Bill saying hi. Liam says, "What part are you in the Philippines?" I'm Filipina. Not that you'd be interested to know. Of course, I'd be interested to know. Liam, I'm in Dumaguete, Philippines. Where are you at, Liam? Of course, we're interested. We're always trying to grow the community, grow the channel, meet new people. It's always interesting to learn more from people. Like they have things to share, knowledge, educate me. I don't know everything. I love learning new things and I love sharing things that maybe other people don't know. So yeah, Liam, you're more than welcome here. Thank you for being here. But I'm in Dumaguete. Where are you at? And yeah, I'd definitely be interested to know. Yeah, that's great. Welcome. Ray in the Philippines says, "Yeah, Bill, I'd rather have the wind and the rain." Yeah, I can't disagree with that one. Um, yeah, I always think about what it'd be like to like be here now and then go back to the US when it's really cold. That would be like a real body shock to me. Whereas when I went back to the US in March, it was cold in March. And it was like, damn, my body's not used to that. Like the cold, dry air, like my skin started getting chapped because of my body was so used to the humidity and the moisture here. So that was kind of like an awakening for me when I went back to the US. But it wasn't that long until it got warm. But I didn't like it. Um, Bill says, "Ray, I'll try to dance for you." Yes, dance, 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 dance. Jazz said, "Hi, Jazz. You're new to the. I'm not familiar with you, but I apologize. But I like new people when they come here, and I'm going to read your comment or question. Do white people listen to the song "It's the Epstein Clubhouse" by Donald Trump and Friends? I've actually never heard that song, Jazz. Never even heard of it, but maybe they do. I don't know. I've never heard it, so I've never listened to it, so I can only speak for myself. But welcome, Jazz. Where are you from, Jazz? Um, Don says, "Yes, Ray, they can keep the ice and snow." Yeah. Yeah. I think, like I said, the only time I'm interested in snow is maybe like a snow cone. That'd be about it. Gino says, "Hi, Bill." Ray says, "I've never had to shovel rain." Yeah, I've never had to shovel it either. Well, slushy, like watery rain. Yeah, I've had to do that before. It's like rain mixed with snow. It's like wet snow, but that's the closest thing I've ever had to shovel. Bill says, "Hello to Gino." Liam says, $7,108 to be exact. I knew it was over 7,000, but now I know 7,108. I don't know if I'll remember that, but I'm going to try to remember that. And thank you for bringing that information, Liam, to the live stream. I like that. Welcome to my little piece of paradise called the Philippines. It is paradise, and there's so much more of it I need to see. We Filipinos love our karaoke. Yes, you do. And we so love to please. Yes, you do. Just a happy a lot amidst all the trials that come our way. You know what, Liam? When I speak to my friends in the United States back home, or people ask me here, Michael, well, what is your favorite thing about the Philippines? I'm trying to block the wind with this behind me, but they always say to me, "What's your favorite thing about the Philippines?" And Liam, I tell them the people is the first thing out of my mouth. It's the people. The people are the very, very, very first thing I mention. Uh, so thank you for being Liam, and I'm glad you're adding knowledge 7,108. I'm try and remember instead of just always saying over 7,000, 7,108. I'm going to try that. Maybe if you're on a live again, you can quiz me and or test me and see if I remember the exact. But I'm going to try and remember 7108, 7108. But yeah, every how you describe the Philippines, I love the karaoke. I love the weather. Um, I love the people. I love everything about the Philippines. And I think I've adapted quite nicely in the short amount of time that I've been here. Although I have to learn a lot more, but I love learning. So anything you want to share, Liam, feel free. And I hope this wind isn't making too much noise. Weena says hello to Simon. Bill's asking me if I have a place to stay yet. No, I'm supposed to have this apartment by the 15th. Tomorrow on Monday, I'm going to make another attempt. Sorry about the wind to meet with the owner. But Che and I have been looking, we have other places in our sights. So if I have to pull the trigger on another place and not get the place that I've been kind of holding out for, that's okay because I'm not going to continue wait and spend more money than I need to in a hotel a hotel when I know I can get it in an apartment. But thanks for that question. We're still at the hotel, unfortunately. Uh, Bam says, "Hey, I see the clouds." Basically, Bama, it's been clouds. Clouds, the wind's picked up a little bit, some spritz and rain here and there, but that's been the extent of it. Right now, it feels windier than it has been. And as you can see, the water is moving a little bit more than what it was a few minutes ago, but people are out on their boats, fishing boats. Got, you know, it's not bad. There's a lot of people here at the boulevard just because this early because they don't have to deal with the hot sun. Usually, the majority of people come out about 6 o'clock, as I'm sure most of you guys already know that anyway. Uh, but how are you, Bama? How's things with you? Weather. Simon says, I thought you said Che was Dawson today. In English, norm it means doing nothing. Yeah, she just needed a break, Simon. Like I said, I think she tried to push too hard, not feeling that great time of the month, and she was doing it for me. So I felt like I just said, Che, just you need a day off. Just do one of those days where you don't do nothing. And because I like being out and about. Um, and I respected that. So I hung out with her till like noon. And then I started getting a little bit of a headache because I hadn't had my coffee yet. So then I was like, Che, I gotta go. I gotta get my double espresso latte or my head's gonna start pounding. Not pounding, but enough of a headache to irritate me. So yeah, I gave her a day off, Simon. I've been poking at her a little bit lately and teasing her, so she deserved a break. She's a good sport though. Gino says, hi, Bama. Ray says, yeah, I'm waiting for those sweet Hello Kitty advertising dollars. Yeah, there you go, Ray. There you go. Like I said, I know people that wear Hello Kitty, but I prefer to see you wearing a Hello Kitty t-shirt or sporting the mug over other people. Liam says, are you currently in one of the islands down south? Yeah, it's Negros Oriental. Um, and then the other half is Negros Occidental. So yeah, I guess you could say, yeah, one of the southern islands, but I think there's other islands that are further south than here. Um, but good question, Liam. See, you're bringing a lot to this chat. That's what I like. And if you're not a subscriber, Liam, please subscribe. If you like this live stream and you're feeling comfortable and you're enjoying yourself, give me a thumbs up, double tap the screen or click a like. That helps my channel grow, gets me out, it helps me have an audience that grows more. So thanks, Liam. You're bringing a lot to this is what I need. You guys are the engine of the live stream. Ray says it's definitely cool today. Feels like 67 degrees. Wow. That would probably feel really good. I mean, that's about as cool as I would want. That'd be perfect sleeping weather as long as you had a breeze blowing in your apartment. Bama says drops to 80 and suddenly we feel like it's winter. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, like right now, if Shay were out in this cooler, she'd say she's cold. She'd need a jacket. Ray says, Simon, I'm a world class dosser. And that's okay. Everybody needs the DOS, mean doing nothing. Sometimes you just need that. It's okay. Um, I don't do nothing much. I guess the most when I'm doing nothing is me doing a live stream. Like, well, when I'm sitting, it's a little bit. My butt was hurting. Um, Bam, I don't like hearing that. We just got upgraded to Signal 5. Be safe, my friend. I don't like hearing that. Wade Youngblood. Hello, Wade Youngblood. My name is Michael. I'm from the United States and I'm currently living abroad in the Philippines. And to be more specific, I'm in Dumaguete, Philippines. Been here, I guess, about a year, living a little more, give or take. But thanks for being here, Wade. Where are you from, Wade? Where are you? And thank you for being here. Simon says, Ray laughing, of course. Ray always brings laughter. Gino says, stay safe, Bama. Yeah, exactly. My same advice to you. I hope everything's all well. And I hope you get through this. I don't like hearing saying signal 5, though. Martin just said, just watching the storm on the radar. Yeah, I looked at it before I got on the live stream, just so in case anybody asked me, I could kind of give my latest what I've seen. But yeah, everything was north of here. Bama says animals are put up and pulling out the red horse. Uh-oh. And I think Ray said he's taking a break today. I don't think he's going to be doing any. Well, maybe not now. Maybe later. I think Ray got the Hello Kitty cup with some coffee. Tony Ann says, "Hey, hi, Tony Ann. Welcome here. Welcome to my live stream. I'm going to say, Michael. I'm from the United States, and I'm living abroad here in the Philippines. And I'm in Dumaguete, hanging out with my friends here on the live stream. But thank you for saying hello and hope you're having an amazing day. I hope you're having an amazing day. You make my day better. All you guys do, because then I can I have conversation. I need that. Um, I certainly don't want to get to a point in my life where I'm talking to myself. That's not much fun. Sometimes I think that may be happening. Where are you from, Tony Ann? Where are you from? That's like my first question I ask everybody. Where are you from? Martin says, shouldn't be much of an anything for you down south. Looks like it's tracking north of Manila. You are exactly right, Mark. Um, Fortunate and blessed that this isn't affecting Dumaguete really. It's just more of a little spritzing of rain, some fluctuating winds, nothing much, feels good. And yeah, obviously this is less than we got the last time. And the last one they anticipated more here, but it was more of a nothing burger here too. Tony Ann says, I'm from the UK. Awesome. Welcome from the UK. I actually met a foreigner from the UK that's in the Philippines. He's in, where is he at? Malaysia. He's in Malaysia right now, Tony Ann, and great guy from the UK, retired, living a good life here in Asia, and has, I guess his girlfriend's from Malaysia. I don't think she's from the Philippines, but he's happy living life, but he's a great guy from the UK. So welcome here, Tony Ann from the UK. Appreciate you being here, and you're more than welcome to come again. You know, you're always welcome to come again. We're always looking to meet new people. I know I am. And again, you guys keep the live stream going until I have to pee, which that's probably not too far off. I made the mistake of drinking that coffee and then chugging a huge bottle of water. Part of my hydration routine, but the wind is picking up here. I don't know what it sounds like to you guys over my AirPods, but I might walk this way slowly, see. Yeah, because the dust is really picking up too. I don't anticipate anything, but I'm gonna walk because, like, you can see, it's like you got that, and it's much darker over there, and you can't even see Siki Horn. But the wind is definitely picked up here. Um, it's fine. A lot of dust and sand and dirt blowing, but I'm gonna walk down this way and see how well my stream goes on this data. I know it can lag if I go too quickly. Hey, Jerry. Oh, wait. Simon says, "Hey, Tony, welcome. I'm from the UK too, but now in the Philippines." See, that's awesome. We got this UK community. Love it. See, Tony, there's other people from the UK. Some are already living here. Have you ever been to the Philippines, Tony Ann, or are you considering coming to the Philippines? Jerry says, "Hello, my friend." Hello, Jerry. Uh, I don't know. It's hard for me to see on my mobile device your picture. I'm not sure if I've met you before, but thank you for being here, Jerry. If you're okay with sharing where you're from, you can tell us where you're from. We'd like to know that. I'm currently in the Philippines. I guess you could say I'm storm watching right now. This is probably the most clouds I've seen since I've been here. And I'm at the Boulevard in Dumaguete. Uh, this is where everybody hangs out, walk, street vendors, food. There's a big 2025 sign. But yeah, I'm in Dumaguete, Philippines. I'm from the US. But thank you for being here, my friend Jerry. Thank you. Tony Ann says, "That's awesome. Nice to meet you." Nice to meet you too. I meet the nicest people. This like every day I'm meeting nice new people. And that's another thing that motivates me more to like do my channel and stuff like that. You just you just meet a lot of people. Not only do you meet a lot of people here in the Philippines, you meet a lot of people on YouTube on the live stream. So again, Tony Ann, welcome. Give me a like, subscribe if you're interested. And, we have fun on our live streams. A lot of my friends that are YouTubers, they also have live streams and they're a lot of fun and you kind of build like a good community. So again, Tony, welcome. And please come back and don't be afraid to ever add anything to the live stream. Holy cow. So Martin with the update. Oh, wait a minute. Ray said, "Hey, wait, Ray said, welcome, Tony." Then Ray said, "Hey, Jerry." And now I'm feeling rain. So I'm going to walk this way because it's really starting to rain. And I'm going to try and see what happens if I take you into the Bethel guest house across the street. I'm going to see what happens. But yeah, see, I don't know if you noticed the rain, but it's starting to rain. This is the most we've had in a while. And I'm going to cross the road here and hopefully it doesn't start lagging. Um, so Tony Ann says, "Thank you, Ray. I appreciate that." Manila says, with Martin with the update says 7,641 Allens. They recently updated it. Holy crap. That grew from, because I was just memorizing, I think 7,108. So now I got to memorize that. You guys are toying with my memory. I like being educated. Thanks for the update, Martin. Ray says Sweden has over 267,000 islands. Holy crap. I don't think I could keep up with that. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't think I could keep up with that. 267,000 islands. Now I'm in this hotel. So I'm going to see if my signal still stays because I have to go pee. And yes, it's not going to be OnlyFans, Ray, before you say it. So just give me a minute. Don't leave. I'm going to sit the phone right here. See, I'm quick. I don't take that long. Now the question is, Vincent washing my hands, but then they don't have any towels to dry your hands. Oh, guess it's good that my phone is somewhat waterproof to an extent. I see that you guys are still here. My hands are soaked, but that's all right. I'll survive. But yeah, here I'll show you what this hotel. I think this is the Bricks Hotel or whatever. But yeah, see, this is the hotel. Nice Christmas tree. Which they have a place you can eat in there. But yeah, it's nice. Thank you, sir. Now I don't know. Maybe the rain's gonna stop. And I'm back outside. All right. Now back to where Liam left off on his comments. Thank you for letting me relieve myself. Coffee and a big bottle of water. Yeah, you're only asking for trouble. Plus, I had a ton of water before. I'm always hydrated here, maybe too hydrated. Liam says, Manila, thank you for the update. Although, ironically, a little less than a third of those numbers are inhabitable. Yeah, I'm sure you're probably, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, me not knowing nothing, yeah, there's probably a lot of islands that you can't even live on. Um, I like Sikihor though. I've been to Sikihor Island, but I'd say the next closest island I want to go to is Bohol. I want to go to Bohol. See, look how like this is crazy. Now, this is how dark it got since when I was, just here. But yeah, see, I'm a storm chaser. Um, yeah, everybody kind of scattered because they started setting up all their vendors and stuff early because the sun wasn't out, which I'm definitely gonna get something to eat at some point because I just need something simple because I'm hungry. But I'm not getting anything to drink. I'm good. Ray in the Philippines says yes. There's an island in the middle of Tall Volcano. Probably wouldn't want to live there. I think you mentioned that to me before, Ray. Liam says, I'm from Cebu, born and raised, very proud of my heritage, and we are some of the friendliest breeds you could ever find in the country. Hey, I'm with you on that, Liam, because you know what? Everybody always asks me, and I repeat myself, what do you love most about the Philippines, Michael? And I always say, the people. First and foremost are the people. And actually, some of the nicest people, Liam, that I've met. Now, I've only spent one night at a time, a couple times in Cebu, but the hotel that I was staying in Cebu the night before my flight, either coming back to Dumaguete or going back to the United States, um, I have some really good friends at this hotel that I stay at, and they're actually friends slash subscribers of my YouTube channel, but they're Filipino. Um, I've met some of the I've made more friends in about a year here in the Philippines, Liam. Filipino, local people, and foreigners in a year than I've ever made in my entire life. That's crazy. Like I'm 55 years old, came here when I was 54, but in one year in my life, I've made more better friendships, relationships while being in the Philippines than I ever made at any point in my life back home in the United States. Don't get me wrong, I have friends in the United States, good friends, but not many. I've met a lot of good friends in a short amount of time here. And it's just kind of, I don't know, it's just mind boggling. Like, how you can come to a completely halfway around the world and make such good friends, especially and YouTube. That has a lot to do with it too. YouTube plays, a big part in that. See, I'm okay. I can sit on this wall, even if it's wet. What's a wet butt gonna hurt? It's much worse to have a hot butt than a wet one anyway. But thank you for that, Liam. I'll never say it again. I'm from Cebu, born and raised, very proud of my heritage, and we are some of the friendliest breeds you could ever meet in the ever find in the country. Agree, agree. Joe in Serenity, Philippines says hello. Hello, Joe in Serenity, Philippines. Your name seems unfamiliar to me, but maybe you've been here before or not. But if not, welcome you here, Joe in Serenity, Philippines. Obviously, you're here in the Philippines. My name is Michael, and I'm here in the Philippines. I'm from the United States, but living abroad here in the Philippines and kind of hanging out in the little bit of rain here in Dumaguete. How are you, Joe, in Serenity, Philippines? Welcome here. Appreciate it. Um, I love my live stream. They're still small yet, but the community's growing well and doing well, and I kind of like it. It's fun. It's kind of like you look forward to having a big get together with all your friends, and with time, maybe it'll grow more and more and more. But it's nice. It's really nice. So welcome. The art chairs. How's life, Michael and Shay? Hey, art chairs. Where you been? It's probably. I could look it up on my thing, but I don't know exactly what time it is. So, how's life with you, Che? I gave Che the day off. She was tired, exhausted. I think it's post time of the month. She slept great last night. We went to breakfast this morning, art chairs, and then Che, she just wanted to go back. She's tired. I just think, she pushed herself being out and about with me when she was in her worst times with her time of the month, dysmenorrhea. So she's uh she's a tough girl. She's toughing it out, but I'm giving her a break. She needed the day off, so she could just relax, and I just think it took a toll on her, our chair. So she slept in until she slept and just relaxed in bed, probably until a little after maybe 1. She met me where I was at with my coffee, and then she said she was gonna go to her mom. She felt good enough to go visit her mom. She had to get some clothes. She was washing some, she was washing some sneakers by hand and, some clothes, so she's going there to visit. But she's good. Thank you, Archers. Liam says, "What has been the greatest challenge you've come across since landing in the country? Has culture shock factor in, or maybe the language barrier have been an issue?" Hmm, that's a good question. Well, people always ask me what I miss most about United States, Liam. So I guess certain foods I miss in the US. So I guess I wouldn't say that's necessarily like a shock here. But that sometimes, I guess you could say, a shock. The language barrier a little bit. I miss conversation, but that's why I do live stream, Liam. Um, Obviously, some people here in the Philippines are a little more fluent than others. Um, so some people have more of an advantage and can be easier for me to have and more in-depth conversations compared to some other people. I've embraced the culture. Love just about I've tried many different types of Philippine food, so I love that, Liam. I haven't tried balut, and currently I have no desire to try balut. I'm afraid to try it. And a lot of people say, "Well, just drink something and then try the balut." I don't drink, so um, definitely. I don't know. Philippines has opened my eyes to a lot, Liam. It's made me definitely humbled me. It's made me less materialistic. Um, My motto, and Ray's heard me say this before, having less is having more. That's the way I feel. Having less is having more. Um, you see so many people here with less, so much happier. Whereas I see a lot of people with more back home, and I see people that are less happy. So um, I'm very charitable. It's hard for me to see people that are struggling, like that need help, maybe that are hungry or need, coin as they put it. I'm a very charitable person. Obviously, I can't give to everybody. I just have these feelings in my heart and my spirit when I know I'm supposed to help certain individuals. So I like doing that. That's a reflection of who I am, Liam. Um, but I don't know if I've really had issues. Um, I've just had adjustments. I always tell people when you come to the Philippines from Western society, US, you got to learn to be patient. Um, Growing up in the United States, I anybody that can attest to this, when we want something, we get it just like that whenever we want. So you have to learn to be patient, but that's what removes the stress, in my opinion, in the Philippines is you're not everything is slow or here. It's more relaxed. So that teaches you um you're more relaxed. You remove the needing everything now, right here, right now. You move that I gotta be here, I gotta be there. Everything's hurry, 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 hurry. And then you remove that from your life, then there's no anxiousness. And then for me, that relaxes me more and I'm less stressed. And when I'm here, if you got to take the tricycle to go somewhere and there's a lot of traffic, I don't even care. It's like, oh, well, we'll get there when we get there. I mean, what's it matter? Like, it's like there's no such thing for me, but I'm retired, I'm not working. Um, there's no such thing here as, I guess, being late for me. Um, Obviously, certain things have a schedule and you want to get there on time, but I don't know if that really answers all your questions, but that would be a good topic of discussion to have for a separate video or even a live stream. That's what gives me ideas for, make that be the topic of a live stream and then everybody can give input, especially foreigners being here, like what's been the biggest adjustments. But I love the warm weather, so I don't have to adjust to that. I don't care. Um, I don't hang out in my apartment every day, so I just need a simple, small apartment. That's all I need. But thanks for the question, Liam. Joe in Serenity, Philippines asked, "What is the current weather there?" Currently here in Dumaguete, it's probably like uh, degrees wise. I'm gonna guess 78, 80. But Dumaguete is good as far as like we're not gonna feel any effects of the typhoon. It's just the residual, the outside stuff. And as quickly as that was raining, look how the clouds opened up. It's like at least over above here, but further out there, you can see it's darker. I mean, you can't even see Sikihor Island behind there. You can still see Cebu over there. But now it's fine. Like the wind picked up a little bit and now it's kind of calmed down. But it's fine. I appreciate it. Where exactly are you, Joe, in Serenity? What's your weather like? Um, Liam says, yeah, culture shock. Yeah, figured that. And Liam says, just sub, love your work. Love you. I appreciate that compliment. I I'm a work in progress. I'm a newbie. I'm just a simple foreigner wanting to share my experiences. I enjoy doing YouTube. It gives me something to do. I mean, you always hear stories about people when they retire. Not that I would be bored here doing absolutely nothing, but I enjoy doing YouTube. Keeps me busy. I like it. It allows me to interact with people. It allows me to hopefully inspire other people to come here that have never been in the Philippines, let alone Asia, because I wasn't here. I'd never been here. I came halfway around the world, never been here. That's why, well, when you're in the Philippines and you have opportunities not only to visit all the other islands, Liam, I have opportunities. I want to go to Japan. That's probably number one on my list of other countries to visit while I'm over here. I want to go to Japan. Um, Obviously Thailand, obviously, uh, even even to try Vietnam, Da Nang, Vietnam. But a lot of these places, I have friends that are over here that have been there, so I'm going by their advice. And you know, you gotta like if you're over here, it's like you gotta try to take it all in. When financially and all these other things come into play, I just have to schedule one or two, maybe consider them big trips a year and then go from there. But yeah, thank you, Liam. I appreciate you subbing, and that's Great. I hope to see we everybody like, when you meet each other, everybody hopes to see each other again. Everybody hopes to see each other again, like, in the live streams. That's like our community. Hey, Eli's here. His thing says abandoned souls, but he goes by his name's Eli. So everybody say hello to Eli. He said later I need to go because I need to wash a dozen dishes. Yeah, you take care of the dishes, my friend. Make sure you get that stuff done. Can't neglect your work, especially your stuff at home, school. Um, but thank you for being here and saying hello, Eli. Liam says that I've been to Dumagetti as part of our itinerary a couple years ago when we did a tour around the central Visayas islands of the country. And boy, didn't I have fun. The seafoods were heavenly. Hey, that's great, Liam. That's awesome that you've been here. See, you're like I said, this is all new to you, and you're bringing a lot of good content, comments to the live stream, and I appreciate that. Um, that's awesome that you've been here and you enjoyed yourself. I mean, like I said, I also learned, and it's the same way in the United States where I'm from. Nothing is perfect, no matter where you're at. By definition, there's nothing's ever perfect, but it's what matters to you most as a person, can make it perfect for you. Um, Again, I get it. Not everything's perfect, but when you find somewhere, you can find a place or a spot that fits you. Again, I'm still going to visit other places. There's still other places I want to go to, I want to see, I want to visit. So between Dumagetti and living in McCollin for 4 months, I prefer Dumagetti. But that's not to say that I couldn't go somewhere else and maybe want to try it, and then I'd end up liking it more and being together. Just out of those two, that's all I can compare as far as actually living there. The difference for me in vacation somewhere for a couple weeks versus actually living somewhere. Um, so yeah, thanks for Liam. You're awesome, man. I'm just like glad that you're here and you're really active with the comments. The Archer says has there been another typhoon since Tino? I think there was another one, wasn't there? Um, at least since I've been here in Dumagetti, I think there's the last one, which still didn't amount to much here, and then this current one that went through that's basically majority of it's all north of here. I mean, we're just getting the outer spinning, whatever, probably going through here, but I'm not sure our chairs, but I think those are the only ones I've experienced since I've been here. And I've only experienced since being here in Dumagetti, October 17th, I said this previously, I've only experienced the one earthquake 5.0 here in Dumagetti, which it just shook and vibrated the bed. It was like 3:06 I think it's like 3:06 AM a week or 2 ago, but that was it. Um, Liam says, "Michael, what brought you to the Philippines apart from the obvious, the beaches? How long do you intend to stay with us?" I intend to stay here. This is like my second home. I mean, the United States will always be my home. That's obvious, but this is gonna be my home, like my second home, and I'm gonna be here a while. People always ask me, do I have plans anytime soon to go to back to the US? The only way I'd go back like soon is if, heaven forbid, like there's like a medical health emergency with my mother or father or somebody in my immediate family. That would probably be a reason that I'd have to go home, but that wouldn't be long term. Um, if my mother and father want me to come and visit them or something like that, I'd maybe get home for a month. But the majority of my time is going to be here, get settled here, and then plan different places within Asia to go visit, like little vacations to experience other places. But no, I don't plan on going anywhere. Um, Learning more and new things every day here in the Philippines. I think all of us can agree that you basically spend the rest of your life learning things. I don't think we'll never know everything. And besides, that would be kind of boring if I knew everything. I'm eager to learn new things, and heck, look how much I'm learning from you. Look at the great questions, Liam, that you're even asking. I mean, these are great questions. You're adding a lot to the live stream. Like I said, you guys are the engine that keeps this going. Um, so thank you. Um, what other things brought me here? Well, I wanted to come find a warm weather island like atmosphere. Mm, Obviously, I started looking on YouTube, and then Philippines this, Philippines that came up in my you know what I'm thinking of here. So like, yeah, I just searched. I think my search was like something like tropical islands, and then it became the Philippines. And then as I learned more, and then obviously other bloggers started coming up in my timeline on YouTube. It was a combination of that, and then I was inspired by other YouTubers to come here. That's basically what it was, and everything that they talked about. And I also related to these YouTubers too. Some of them, some people you just see on YouTube, and then you're very relatable to them, and that happened. And then I actually reached out to some YouTubers, and they helped me get everything in order for me to come here. So I wasn't coming to the Philippines blind, basically. Like, um, they helped me set up everything. So I just thought, I don't know, like I also felt like God pulled me to the Philippines too. I mean, I said that from the beginning. I just felt like there was a higher power that wanted me to come here and experience things. And I think because of the type of person I am, I think that's why I easily embraced the Philippine culture and felt a lot of compassion in my heart towards the people here in the Philippines. Um, Opened my eyes, like they say, the Philippines is a third world country. I can't say I've ever really been to that many third world countries in my life, not for this long. I mean, usually a lot of people go to third world countries because of the beautiful beaches and the islands, but that's all they go and see. They go to the nice resorts, but they never really live or experience the culture like I'm doing and many other people do. Um, you can either accept that and embrace it and realize that you could fit in here, or there's, I guess, some other people that maybe this isn't for them. But I haven't met any people that came to the Philippines and didn't like it. I don't know of anybody that came here and left, and then I don't know if I've ever even seen videos where they just literally said they hated it here or they didn't like it or whatever. But I can't say I ever looked for videos like that either. Yeah, I mean, I have no issues being here, but that's not to say that I don't miss certain things about the US, mainly food, certain types of food, quality of the food. Obviously, I miss my parents. I said this before, but if it wasn't for video chat, I probably would miss them more because obviously I can talk to them whenever I want. And they're older, so I worry about them too. But I'm thankful that my younger brother is sacrificing his life to take care of them. Um, My brother's a great person. I probably speak more highly of him on YouTube than I actually do to his personally to his face, and kind of makes me realize I need to say to him more often that what he's doing is not unnoticed, not only by me, but everybody else within my family. So shout out to my brother. Um, he's very, he's just making the ultimate sacrifice for my mother and father. Um, so that's just a couple things, Lee. I'm sorry if that wasn't exactly the answer. So now it's like raining again, but I'm all right. I'm sitting in the rain. In the wind. Serenity Aloha says yes at the art tourism now. There is Super Typhoon Uwan. All right, Serenity. Oh, that's another similar name. I don't know if I've ever seen your name, but obviously you're familiar. I'm glad you're in live stream watching. I always say to people, haven't if you haven't given the live stream a like, I would appreciate a double tap on the screen or a like any way you do it if you're not on a mobile device or if you're not a subscriber, I'm always open to anybody to subscribe, helps my channel grow, motivates me to do this more and more. And um, yeah, YouTube is like a job, and I enjoy it. Keeps me busy. Um, and yeah, it's just a good feeling doing YouTube. I actually doing YouTube. Being honest, I don't know if I've ever said this to anybody. It just makes me feel like um, it makes me feel like I'm somebody, if that makes sense. And like I said, there's nothing more humbling than when uh, people subscribe and then you become friends. It's like you become like a family, and then you see people continually support your channel and do everything they can to, just support you in every way possible. I didn't experience stuff like that until I came here, so um, it's new to me. It's a new experience, and it's a very humbling experience, and it's just sometimes it just makes you want to say it's a great time to be alive. And yeah, I'm blessed. So I don't know who else was here, but the comments got quiet. So now you're putting me on the spot. But yeah, I'm sitting in the rain. I apologize if I'm boring anybody. I'm just showing you like break, dark, 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 rain. Well, it's kind of the same spot over um Siki Hor over there, but yet like you got Cebu over there. But we got a little music playing. Just he's walking with some speakers. So they'll liven it up. But yeah, usually all these vendors don't start setting up all along here more and more until around 6. They are here early, but I'm sure this isn't helping because it's like they setting their stuff up and then then they're gonna cover it all up again. So it's kind of giving them a little inconvenience, extra work. But that's why a lot of people scattered here. It was doing really good, and I'm just wondering if this is gonna cause a little damper on our Sunday late afternoon here in the Philippines. But again, I'm just thankful everybody's here hanging out. I'm sure you guys have bigger and better things to do. So I'll wait for some comments or questions or anything like that. I'm not going to drag this on so I bore you guys. Like I said, I don't even still know who's here. Sometimes when it shows how many people are in here, it's very inconsistent, and they could show 2 people in here and maybe there's 10. They could show 10 people and maybe there's 2. I never know who's in here, but anybody who has been here and new people, new subscribers, Liam, Sereni, our chairs, thank you for the comment. Our chair says it looks a bit stormy. I mean, it looks like it could, like right here, but then there's like this big break, and you see the blue. It's like so weird. It's like I don't know what it's gonna do. Maybe, maybe not. Um, it's kind of like a circle. But we got the breaks. Um, there are some people out. The rain has stopped temporarily, but like yeah, see, it's black cloud here, and like the clouds are going this way, they're going that way. So it's like this dip down the middle, but there's still people here. I mean, like I said, I'm not a stranger to any rain. A little rain never hurts anybody, in my opinion. I'd much rather deal with rain and warm weather than freezing rain or snow or anything in the U.S. Uh, Archer says, "Is it humid?" I don't. I think the humidity is going down a little bit. I'm not sweating at all. I mean, I'm sure part of that is because I'm just used to it, but it feels pleasantly, unusually cooler and less humid than normal currently right now. Um, it's it's like nice. Like you take away the drip drops, and it's like a perfectly good evening, perfect for doing a lot of walking, and which I will be doing. Again, that's what drives me crazy. I wanna be able to live stream and walk. and show everybody where I'm going, and not just here on the boulevard, like where I go throughout the city, and come across some amazing people, amazing things to see. And that's what kind of that's what always excites me here in the Philippines. I mean, I don't know of too many places I can go in the United States anymore that would excite me or anything like that. Granted, like I tell people, if I was still in the US, I'd be living in Florida. Yes, that would excite me. I'm a warm weather guy. Always have been, always will be. Um, Serenity Aloha says, I like the park there in Dumaguete. We don't have a park like there here in Rizal. Hopefully, we'll visit soon Dumaguete with my boyfriend Joe. Well, hey, you and your boyfriend Joe need to visit Dumaguete. And a lot of people, that come here, and they always say, you know, meet friends. You can meet my girlfriend Shay. I like my coffee. I don't drink a lot, but meet people for coffee or just meet people. Or I run into a lot of people now too. Like it's kind of neat too. That's another whole new experience when you're out and about and your YouTube channel. Like I said, mine's still very small, but I have randomly met people that recognize me, which is a very flattering and humbling experience as well. So yeah, that's cool. See, now, like I said, it didn't take long. The rain stopped, so now you see more people coming out. Like, there's definitely, um, again, it's just still early. You don't usually see this many people because it's too hot, but it's not hot. I mean, a lot of people you're going to see wearing sweatshirts. Um, but yeah, that's good. I appreciate you being here, Serenity. I don't know if you're a subscriber or you've ever been on my live stream or you're familiar with my channel, but I appreciate you being here if this is your first time and hopefully you come back. Um, Archer says, have you checked out Bud Brown's channel yet? Check him out. He's OG Unighetti, one of the originals. See, the ones I don't know if they're the OGs, but the ones I'm familiar with in Dumagetti would be uh, he does a lot of videos. He's an older guy, gray haired guy. I don't know, maybe is he called Old Timer or something like that? I can't remember some of these guys. Um, but a lot of the main, I mean, the biggest one I've ever met in Dumagetti, and I'm proud to call her my friend, is Filipina P. I'm very familiar with her, friends with her, met her many months ago. I guess she's still in the United States. I don't know if she's still there. So like, I know her and obviously she's well established as a YouTuber. She's very good at what she does and she deserves everything she gets because she works very hard. And it's a lot of time, a lot of scripting. I mean, yeah, she's good, but she's a great person. A lot of people sometimes think certain YouTubers might not be, I don't know, meet them in real, they might not be genuinely nice people, but everyone I've met, they're all super nice. But no, I don't know who. So his channel is just called Bud Brown's channel. It's just called his name is Bud Brown. I can probably remember that. I have to check that out, Bud Brown's channel, if it's called Bud Brown. But someone else mentioned me his name before too, and I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure I knew who that was. I'm not completely sure. Um, but yeah. Anything else from anybody? Everybody's getting quiet. I don't know if I really have anything to say other than 4:48 p.m. here. Guess I'm not that hungry yet. I'll probably just walk around the boulevard when I finish this live stream, but um, yeah, it seems all right now. Again, as soon as I try and start walking, I know what's going to happen. Beep, 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 trying to connect, but again, it's possible that someone else is doing a live stream right now too. So, but I know Ray usually does his at 6. And Ray on his channel is also supposed to do an interview live stream with me and Che. But that's when Che is ready and comfortable to do it. Um, that's, you know, that's when I said, just let me know when you're ready and comfortable to do the live stream interview with Ray. So that's coming soon. I'll have to ask her when, but listen, our chairs probably just gave me the biggest clue, hint, tip, and you're probably right. 2 hours is a good live. So anybody that's been on my live, I appreciate you being here. I hope I'm going to shout out the chief. I don't know where the chief is. I hope he's doing good. Well, and I'm going to shout out David. I haven't seen David yet either. Some familiar friends, subscribers. Haven't seen them, but I hope they're well. And I will catch up you guys sometime soon. But I'm going to sign off from here and see the Getty Philippines. Even when it's cloudy like this, it's still beautiful. But thank you for everybody being here. You know who you are, which is all of you guys. So I'm probably going to get rolling. I mean, I'm showing 12, but nobody's really chatting much. And I can only come up with so much. And I think I'm just going to say goodbye to you guys. But if you're not a subscriber, subscribe to my channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want to give me a like, give me a like. But other than that, signing out until the next time. Archer, Serenity, Serenity, Liam new was a new one. All the guys here, Martin, on and on Ray, Tony Ann was new, Jerry was new. Come back, you guys. Wade Youngblood. Don't be strangers. And I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. See ya.